So we're continuing our notes from Thursday. We're starting with number 4. We're going to finish this. So, example 4. This says Susan has $20 and starts saving $4 per week. So if she's saving money, is she earning or losing? She's earning, okay? Robert has $100 and is spending $6 per week. So if he's spending, is he gaining or losing? He's losing money. So graph to model how much money Susan has and how much money Robert has at any given week. W is shown at the right. Label the appropriate letter to indicate the points on the coordinate grid that show A, B, C, and D, okay? So for my two graphs, the blue one, R of T, is Robert, and the red one, S of T, is Susan. Since we said Robert is losing money, his graph has a negative slope. Susan is gaining money because she's investing or saving. She has a positive slope, okay? So part A, it says a point where Susan and Robert have the same amount of money. Or you might see this written as a solution of S of T equals R of T. So where do they have the same amount of money at? A little bit above 50 at week what? Week 8. So we're going to label that. We're going to call that point A because it's for part A. And that's going to be the answer to the first one. Okay, let's look at B. It says a point on the graph of S of T. So am I going to graph on the blue graph or the red graph? It says a point on the graph of S of T. So am I putting the point on the blue graph or the red graph? The red graph, okay. Where Susan has more money than Robert, or S of T is greater than R of T. Where does Susan have more money than Robert? Where does Susan have more money than Robert? Where? After point A, is that what you said? So do you mean right here, Daniel? Okay, so right here, do you all agree Susan has more money than Robert at that point? Eventually, they have the same amount, but since Robert keeps spending, he has less and less, and Susan keeps saving, so she has more and more. Does it matter where on that little highlighted part I put my point? No. Could I put point B here? Could I put it here? Could I put it here? What about here? Does it matter to me where you put your point B? No, as long as it's somewhere on that little highlighted area. Okay, and that's going to be your point B. So now you should only have 2 points, A and B. And your B point can go anywhere on that little pink highlighted part. Part C, it says a point on the graph of R of T. So is that going to be on the blue graph or on the red graph? On the blue graph, good. Because on Robert's graph, where does Robert have $30 more than Susan? So R equals S of T plus 30. Where does Robert have $30 more than Susan? Take a look at the graph. I'll give you a couple seconds to read it. And then tell me a week where Robert has more than Susan. Week 5. Do we agree that at week 5, Robert has more money than Susan? $30 more. Let's look here. At week 5, that would be this point right here. Let me graph it. Does Robert have $30 more than Susan at that point? Because he has $70 and she has $40, so he does have $30 more than her. So we're going to label that C. And the last one, a point that represents how much money Susan started with. So what point shows that? Yeah, at 0, 20. So this is D. That's our last one. Okay, so A, C, and D have a specific point. B you can put anywhere along that range, okay? How's this first example so far? Okay, let's look at example 5, which is our second example of the day. Could I get a volunteer, please, to read that big chunk of text starting at example 5? No. Yes, thank you, Aaron. Okay, let's all be good listeners, please. And can you speak up a little bit, Aaron?
Awesome amusement park has just opened 2 new roller coasters. The new adult roller coaster is called Gnarly Ghost. The height of the roller coaster over time is modeled by GFT on the graph to the right. The kiddie roller coaster is called Baby Ghost. The height of the roller coaster over time is modeled by GFT on the graph to the right. Label the appropriate letter to indicate the points to the coordinate group that show.
Okay, so on that graph, we have our Gnarly Ghost, which is our extreme roller coaster, and our Baby Ghost, which is our little kiddie roller coaster. So which one is the Gnarly Ghost? What color? Is it red or blue? Red, it's the big one. And then what color is the Baby Ghost then? Blue, the little one, okay? So part A, it says a point that represents the maximum height of Gnarly Ghost. What's the maximum height of Gnarly Ghost?
20.
Yeah, up at the top, a little bit above 20, right? Maybe 21? Yeah, we don't know exactly, but it's approximately here. So maybe this Gnarly Ghost roller coaster is kind of like if you went on Goliath at Six Flags or something like that. Okay. Because it goes up, and then it comes down, and then it looks like you even go underground, and then you come back up, and then eventually you stop. Does the Baby Ghost roller coaster do that? No, that might be more like a little Disneyland ride or something like that, a little kid ride. Okay, part B, it says a point that represents where Gnarly Ghost and Baby Ghost are the same height. So a solution to G of T equals B of T. So where are they the same height?
Right here.
Near the one, what do we call that? It has a specific name. Point of intersection, yes. So one of them is right here. If I just labeled that, is that enough?
No.
It is, because that is a solution. But do I have another solution? Yes. Where is the other point of intersection? Almost to the 3, about here? Okay, so I have 2 points of intersection. Do you have to label both of them?
No.
No. As long as you label one, that's okay. Part C says a point on the graph of Baby Ghost. So am I going to graph that on the red or on the blue graph? It says a point on the graph of Baby Ghost. So which graph am I going to label that on? On the blue graph, where Baby Ghost is higher than Gnarly Ghost. So where is Baby Ghost above Gnarly Ghost at? Right there at the 2. Is that the only place it's above Gnarly Ghost? Yeah, between 1-ish and 3-ish. So pretty much between our 2 points of intersection, right? That entire area has Baby Ghost above the Gnarly Ghost. So as long as you label point C somewhere on here, that's okay. You can label it anywhere on here, but you only need 1 point. Point D, or part D, it says a point on the graph of Baby Ghost, or a solution of B of T. Where is a point on Baby Ghost? What do you mean up top? What do you mean up top? Use some numbers and some words. 8? So you're saying like here? Or where are you saying, Diego? Where's the point on Baby Ghost?
Can it be anything?
Yes, it can be anywhere. That's what I'm asking you. I can label my part D anywhere on that blue graph. Anywhere on Baby Ghost. I'm gonna put mine right here. But if you put yours right there in the middle, is that okay? Yeah, because that's still on Baby Ghost. If I labeled it at a point of intersection, is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's still on the Baby Ghost. Anywhere on there is okay. And then finally, a point that represents Gnarly Ghost being at ground level. So a solution of G of 0, or G of T equals 0. So where is Gnarly Ghost at ground level? Where is it at 0? Near the what? Where does Gnarly Ghost go to ground level? Where is it at the ground? Right under B? Right here? That's on a graph? That point I just put is on one of those graphs? No. Where? At the end? Is this a point? Is that my ground level point? I don't know. I'm asking you. Is that when Gnarly Ghost is on the ground? Yeah. Is my Y value 0 there? Yeah. Is that the only point where Gnarly Ghost is at 0? No. Where else is it at? Oh, are you saying under the B? Is this where you meant? Okay. Yeah. That's another one too. Are those the only two? Under the other B, kind of. So about here. So those are my 3 possible answers. You only need one of them. All you need is A, B, C, D, and E. You only need 5 points. Next 2, on 6 and 7, can you try those ones? Please read the entirety of the instructions. I'm going to give you about 6 or 7 minutes to do 6 and 7. I'll go over the answers with you. 6 and 7. Work on these in your groups, please. Okay, so I told you guys, make sure you read the instructions, because I know you don't. Linear function is y equals a of x. Quadratic function is y equals b of x. So if I labeled that, I have a of x and I have b of x. Now for letter A, it says a solution for y equals a of x. Where can I graph that point? Anywhere on the line. So can I put it here?
Yeah.
Can I put it here? Can I put it here? Okay, just make sure your A point is anywhere on the line. What about my B point? Anywhere on the parabola. Can I put it here? Can I put it here? Can I put it here? Yes. And finally, C. It says a solution for a of x equals b of x. Where is that? Anywhere that they intersect. They're points of intersection. Sorry. So right here, can I put a point there? And then my other point C can go here. Okay, you just need 3 points. You need an A, a B, and a C. A is on the line, B is on the parabola, C is either of the points of intersection. Can you keep working on number 7, please? Okay. Yes.
No.
Okay, let's talk about these. A says a point on the graph of P where x equals 0. So is P the line or the squiggle? The squiggle. So I'm going to draw my graph, or I'm going to, plot my point on the squiggle. Okay, so I have to find where that is. And then this part of it has really stumped my first 2 classes, so we're going to talk about it a little bit more right now. It says a point on the graph of P where x is 0. Where does x equal 0 at? On the x-axis, and it has a specific point that I can go to. What's it called? There's a point that's called 0, 0. Okay. Yes, the origin. We're going to go to the origin first, okay? Now, when I'm looking at x, can I move left and right when x equals 0? If x equals 0, can I go left and right? But if I move left or right, that's going to change my x value. So, if x equals 0, right here. So, let's say x equals 0 right here. Can I move to the side, or can I go to this point right here? Does x still equal 0 there? Because I saw some of your papers, you put your A point here. Can you tell me what's that coordinate pair? What's the point called?
1.
That's 1, 0. Is x still 0 at that point? No. Okay, so I need to look at a place where the point is 0, comma, a number. So if I can't move left and right, which direction should I go? Up and down. So I'm looking for the peach graph, right? The squiggle. So am I going to go up to hit it or down to hit it? I'm going to go down. So here is what it is. Do I have to know what number that is? No, I just have to label it A. Okay, so when x is 0, I can move up and down. I can't move side to side. because x can't change. X is 0. Okay, for the second one, a point on the graph of Q. So this point is going to go on the line. So a point on the graph of Q, where P of x is greater than Q of x. So do you see how this line kind of cuts the squiggle into two parts? Do you agree with that? Okay, so I have my right side in blue, and then I have my left side in green. Okay, which of these two sides is greater than the line? Is it the blue side or the green side? Which side is above the line? The blue side is above the line? Or the green side is above the line? The green side is above the line, okay? So I'm looking at this area right here. Now, where do I plot my B point? Does it go on the squiggle or does it go on the line? Anywhere but on the line. So it has to go somewhere, maybe here, or here, or here. Because that's the area where the squiggle is above, but I want to plot that on the line. And then finally, your notes say something different. A point on the graph of Q where, and you have Q of x is approximately equal to 0. So now Q of x, is that x, my x value or my y value? Q of x equals 0 is going to be my y value. So I can still go here, but now I have to go up or down. Do I have to move up or down though, or is that approximately where it is? It pretty much passes throughout the origin, so this is actually going to be my C value right there. Okay? So for our last one, we have a couple of different things that it's asking us. I have use the graph to find all of the missing values. So we're going to start with number 12. So I have number 12. It says f of blank equals 8. What's normally in that blank? What's normally in that parentheses? F of maybe x. So this is like saying I'm looking for x. I don't know what x is. So I'm looking for a number, comma, and then my y value is 8. Okay? So wherever the y value is 8, I have to find the corresponding number. So if I come over to my graph, go up to where y equals 8. Is that here? Do you agree with me there? Y is 8 at that point? Okay, so now I'm going to go over to my f graph. Is f the parabola or the line? The parabola. So I'm going to go over until I hit it. So I have 1 point here and 1 point there. Do you agree with me so far? Okay. So, for my first point on the left, what is that pair? What is the coordinate pair? -3, 8. And what is my other point? 3, 8. Do you agree with that so far? Yes or no? Okay, so what are the two x values that we have then? What are the two x values at this point, or at these places? Because I'm looking, remember, I'm looking for the x values. So what are the x values that we just found? -3 and +3. So those are going to be my two answers for this problem. For this one, yes. Because I was just looking for those x values. Number 13 is similar. Am I looking for x or am I looking for y? I'm looking for x again. So I don't know what x is, but I know y is 5. So I'm going to go up to 5. And is G my parabola or my line? Is G the parabola or the line? The line. So when y is 5, what is this point right here? What is that point? 0, comma, 5. So then what's my x value? What's the answer for 13? 0. Okay. Can you try 14 for me? Can you try 14 and 15? Okay, number 14 is the same idea. 14 and 15 are pretty much the same exact thing. So I have a number, comma, -1. So I'm going to go down to -1. And then since I'm looking for f, which is my parabola, that's my point. So I have 0, -1, so my answer is 0. Yes. Is that what we got for 14? Okay. Now for 15, this is a little bit different. I'm on G. I don't know the number. And I know Y is 0. So I have number, comma, 0. So here at my origin is 0. And then is G my parabola or my line? G is the line. So I'm going to go over until I hit the graph, which is right here. Do you agree with that? Because when Y is 0, I can move left and right. And this point is right 5, up 0. So what's the x value for number 15? It is 5. If you didn't get that, do you know why this is the answer? Next one, number 16 is f of -1 equals a number. So am I looking for x this time or am I looking for y? I'm looking for y this time. I know x to begin with. So I have -1, comma, a number. So I can go over to -1, which is to the left. And then f is on that graph, so what is that value? What's the number right there? I have -1, comma, 0, so my answer is 0. Okay, next, number 17. Same idea. I have 0, comma, a number. So I'm going to go left and right 0. And then I need to go up or down to hit G. So I'm going to go up, up, up until I hit the line. And there's my point. And it's 0, comma, 5. Because I go left and right 0. And now I have to go up or down to hit the line. I go up to 5, which means that my answer is 5. And if you look, that's the same point as on number 13. We're just looking for a different thing this time. On number 13, I was looking for the x value. On number 17, I'm looking for the y value. Number 18. Says f equals g of x. Where does f equal g of x at? How many points of intersection do I have? How many points of intersection do I have? 2, and I'm looking for the x values of them. So what's my first x value? One of them is -3 from here, and then I have 2, comma 3. So it's 2. So my two numbers are -3 and 2. Now, do you know how to do number 19? Really? I'm asking. Do you know? Do you have any ideas what to do? You can, but here's another thing. So see how I have f of x minus g of x equals 0? I'm going to add g of x to both sides. And I get f of x equals, what's 0 plus g of x? So I have f of x equals g of x. Do I know what that answer is? Yes. What is that answer? -3 and 2. So these two mean the same thing. They're written differently. So I would write that in your notes. Same thing, but they're written two ways. And you will need to be able to recognize both of those ways. So 18 and 19 are the same thing written in two different ways. We're not going to do 20 because and then let's look at 21. I have f of 2. We plug it in. What is f of 2? What is f of 2? F of 2 is what? Is 2, 3. So f of 2 is 3. And what's g of 2? Look at the point. I go over 2. And that's a point of intersection, isn't it? Don't they have the same point then? So if f of 2 is 3, then g of 2 is also 3. What's 3 plus 3? 6. That's your answer. Okay. We're not multiplying, we're adding. Finally, I have f of 0 minus g of 0. So I'm going to go over to 0. And I need to find the y value for f, which is right here. So at 0, negative 1. That value is negative 1. What is g of 0? I'm going to go up, and yes, it is 5. What's negative 1 minus 5? Negative 6. That's my final answer here. Okay.